welcome to Thread My Bobbin. I'm Jane. This is where I share my quilting and sewing projects and just enjoy a bit of a quilty chat. So I'll show you what I've been up to since my last video. So after I made my last video, we had an unplanned trip away for a week. So that meant that I had to work on different projects to what I originally had thought I would this week. And what I did, because we were staying in accommodation, and I didn't want to take my sewing machine, and so what I did was I took all the unfinished embroidery from the owl hair and hollow quilt, and I had 5 pieces that needed to be done, and I did much more than 15 minutes a day this last week or so on my UFOs, but I got them all done. So every piece of embroidery for the owl hair and hollow quilt is now completed. Some of them only need a little bit. This one only needed a small bit, and some of them needed quite a lot, but it was good, you know, get back in the afternoon and just sit and embroider for the night. I really quite like always having a bit of embroidery when we travel. So yeah, in terms of UFO work, this was really good. So all of the embroideries are done. Now I got mail this week. I'll show you some now, some after. And I got some buttons. When I asked for suggestions, not wanting to do hexagons, Diane suggested maybe buttons. So I found these little country buttons, and I'm not sure if you can see them or not, but they're like gingham and spotted in different colours. And these ones are just in those kind of country, you know, bluey, browny coloured buttons. So I'm going to try some of these later. And also, I have to look into Kathleen suggested Suffolk puffs, and Rebecca suggested window frames. So I know there is one block where it's got a round kind of frame, so I could maybe do some more of those. And I'm also going to have a look at the Suffolk puff idea for how to frame the embroideries. So my next step with this is I need to get it out and see which blocks now need to be finished, and I think there's a few more blocks need to be made, and then that's the next step for owl hair and hollow. So that was the main thing I got done this week. The other thing you'll see behind me here is Summer in the Country, and I did get the sashing on, and I actually put it on the clothesline and made a short video because you can see it much better, the light's better and everything outside. So I'll play that for you now. So this is Summer in the Country quilt that I have put together. I've put the sashings on. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I actually ran out of the fabric for the blocks. It's a small daisy print, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I found this fabric, which is a much closer daisy print, and I don't have a lot left of that because I want to add a border. So that's how it's looking joined together. I really like it. I do want it a bit bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I need to find another white fabric to use, and I'm probably just going to cut up the red, blue and yellow maybe into 2.5-inch squares and do a border, or maybe a blue border. I'm happy to hear any ideas, just to get it big enough to hang over like a queen size bed. But yeah, there it is, all the sashings up, joined together. It's very overcast here today, so that's why it's looking a bit dark, which is a nice break after the very hot weather we had a few days ago. Summer in the Country quilt. So in my last video I had a whole pile of baby rugs that just needed finishing, and when we got home from being away, I really didn't have the concentration or the energy to cut blocks for Laurel Ridge or do anything that needed too much thinking power. I was pretty tired, so I just decided to hit straight sewing for a day or two and just kind of power through, because it would make room in the sewing room. I got this pile done, and these are just flannelette on one side, cotton on the other, nice bright designs. There's a couple of small bunny rugs there. That's a really cute one. And you know, some of these designs look pretty wild and leery, but the charity that they're for asked for them to be in nice bright colours, and so that's what we do, give them exactly what they asked for. But this was great. It freed up, emptied a whole basket, which gives me some more room. And yeah, I found more to do, but they're just cut ready, and I'll save them for another day when I just don't feel like doing much and I can just sew straight lines. But that was good to get all them done, so I will send those off this week. I also had mentioned in that first video that I had some Eye Spy quilts for kids cut out, partially joined. Some were different sizes, you know, there was quite a lot. 5-inch squares, strips joined, and they needed to be put together. So once I got those done, I decided to keep going. Again, it was just simple sewing, you know. And so some of them are the Disappearing 9 patch, and they're just nice, bright, you know, kids' colours. And some of them are just 5-inch squares sewed together, because what happened was I just got, this is a while ago when I was cutting them, I just got so tired of cutting Disappearing 9 patches. I thought, I'm just going to join the 5-inch squares and get them done. So, you know, they're just bright coloured kids' Eye Spy quilts. And so I sat for the last 2 days, I've just sewed all day, which has been really nice. And got those 2 piles finished. And they go off to a lovely charity called Quilts Against Cancer. It's an Australian charity, and they will quilt them up. We make them exactly to the size that they want and the requirements that they have. And they quilt them up, and then they post them out free of charge to kids and to hospitals in Australia. I'll leave a link to that below, actually, if anyone's interested. So this was great. It's cleared up a lot of space. Yep, there's more to do on another day when I don't feel like sewing too much. But those things are the main things that I got done since I last made a video, and the summer in the country. But I did get some mail. Where are we? And I love getting mail, especially when it's got fabric in it. So you might remember this quilt, the Emperor's Wheel Chris Jerd pattern. That's kind of my big project for the year, to learn how to do paper piecing, foundation piecing, I should say. And I already have Japanese fabric that I was given, but I needed fabric for the borders and just, you know, some background type fabric. So I went online and I found this lovely shop at Etsy, and she's called Kimono Fabric Shop, or Kimono Fabric Shop. I'll leave a link to that as well. And these are vintage Japanese silk kimono fabric. And she even sent me 2 little pieces as a gift, which was nice of her. She sent me these 2 little pieces as extras, which is very sweet. And they're so soft and silky. I'm very excited about this. I mean, look at this, isn't that beautiful? I just love it. This has the pictures there of, this is a long piece, but the pictures are kind of in a fan pattern. See And then this absolutely beautiful fabric. So I have 2 pieces of this for borders. Hold it up there so you can see. Just beautiful. My next step with this is, because I have all the fabric now that I need, my next step with this is to get the pattern out and start printing it off, and watch a few videos on foundation paper piecing. I have got a basic idea of how to do it. I don't know if anyone's got any tips for doing it working with silky fabrics. I mean, they're quite firm silk, they're not too fine, they're not sheer. If you got any tips for this, leave them in the comments. But yeah, so that's my next step with that. Can't wait. And the other mail I got is for the Patchwork Witch. And one of the reasons I'm glad I got these things out of the way is because I really want to get started on things that aren't UFOs. Like, it's been good to make progress, but I don't want to only be working on those. And this is Patchwork Witch by Laurie Holt. I really like this pattern. I want to do it in a bit darker kind of colours and ideas. And what I do is I just, when I've got an idea of something, I just get a box and start chucking everything in it that might be of use. I don't know yet until I start making it. But what I got, so there's things in there, I won't show you all of them, but I did get mail this week. That I want to show you. And that's all stuff pulled from my stash down there. I won't show you all those yet. This came from a really great little shop, and I think it's called Utopian Threads. I will leave the name of it down below. It's an Australian online shop, and it has some really interesting, just a little bit different fabrics if you like to sew things, you know. I mean, for me, we just have Spotlight, and then we have a local lovely fabric store with traditional patchwork fabrics, you know, much more traditional. But if you want something outside of that, where I live, well, there's nothing. So I do a lot of online shopping, and I'll leave a link below. It's a great site if you're in Australia and you're looking for things a little bit different. So these are what I got. Just some more fat quarters. I absolutely love this. I don't know if I'll use that for her, maybe the bodice of the witch's dress, or you know, maybe just in one of the squares, but I love it. Then we have kind of a cream with a little black crisscross on it. That's purple with little diamonds. You can kind of see the colour palette I'm going for here. Orange with stars. Here we go, here's the business card. Yep, Utopian Threads. I'll still leave a link below. Now this, you probably cannot see, it has little eyelashes and eyes on it. It's really cool. This is spiders on spiderweb. Little tiny black spiders. I needed a few different types of black, so I got this black. It's got little, you know, pale green leaves on it. Again, I really like this. This is a grey with a black print. Another orange. Just these circles, I have a few oranges. And I don't know if this shows up because it's green, but it's got a really fine black kind of thread running through it, or green thread and another design. It's like it's embroidered. And then this wasn't from Utopian Threads, but I also got this, which, where did I put it against something? It's just a piece of black lace that's got cobwebs on it. So you might be able to see it better there. And I don't know if I use it or not. You know, we might put it up in the corners or something, or part of a dress, I'm not sure. But I thought it might be fun to have. So that's our Quilted.Witch fabrics. And I have one more parcel to arrive, and then I'll have all the fabrics for the Quilted.Witch, and then I can start, which I can't wait to do. And those fabrics are the background, so I'm just waiting on those to arrive. Oh, and I have these buttons. They are handmade buttons with spiders on them. I love them. Now, these, I actually found these on eBay. What happened was I bought these ones first off eBay. They're little buttons, but they've got purple spiders on them. And then I found these, which I just had to have. And when I got them, they're made by a company called Incomparable Buttons, or Incomparable Buttons, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And so I looked it up online. It's a South African company, and it employs South African women to make buttons. It's really interesting. It's worth having a look. But honestly, when you see the site, if I was a knitter and making cardigans or anything that need buttons, or if I was making children's clothing, you have to see this site. The buttons are absolutely beautiful. They've got cats, they've got dogs, they've got flowers, they've got, oh, they've just got everything, and they're just beautiful buttons. So if you like buttons, Incomparable Buttons, and I'll leave a link. Yeah, so I'm looking for that. I'm thinking that they can maybe go on this bodice part of the witch down here somewhere. Not sure yet. So this is close. Just need one more parcel to arrive. So that's been my almost 2 weeks, and I'm not sure exactly what I'll work on in the next 2 weeks, but yeah, thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment or a like, or if you've got any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for visiting. I will see you next week. Bye.